But my dad used this analogy one time. I'm going to tell a funny story just to illustrate this point.
Go for it.
I love illustrations just like you. Me and Brandon, like I've said, have been best friends since probably the 9th grade. One day, me and him went up to somewhere and our car broke down. And so both of us get on the phone and we call our dads. And so we're probably 16, maybe 17. And both our dads, immediately come up there. And so both of our dads are like mechanics, like they know about cars. So they pop the hood, they're getting into it, and they're working on that car. Well, me and Brandon, it was in the daylight, so there's no need to hold a flashlight. So me and Brandon were like out. There's no reason for us to even be around the hood. So me and him just get in the car, and they're just cracking up and just having a good time. Like me and him are just messing around with each other and stuff. And, my dad tells the story like this. He said that was the perfect picture of our relationship with God. Yeah. He was like, you two, because your dads were there taking care of the problems. He said, y'all were just chilling. Y'all were just in the back or in the front seat, just playing and cracking up. So to bring this illustration, that's how God wants to be in our life.
Yeah.
When we experience troubles, we experience those times that it's not great in life. If we give God the control of the situation, you can sit in the front seat and go, hey, I know this is not fun, but I also know my God's got this handled. Yeah. There's a reason I'm in this situation. There's a reason that God has put me in this time, in this trouble, trial, whatever you want to call it, because, hey, you never know, 20 years from now, He's preparing me for something. Mm-hmm. And that's so important to understand that as you young guys, like I remember sort of well what it was like to be a 22, 23-year-old. Like I had my first son when I was 23. I didn't know what I was doing, but the things I thought I knew at 22 and 23, I look back on them now and like, dude, you had nothing figured out. And I'm not saying that that's where y'all are at. What I'm trying to say is I had not truly, really given my life to Jesus and said, you have full control of it. I've sat there and said, I'm only going to give you a portion of my life. I've got the rest. So when I did hit trials and tribulations, it rocked me. Yeah. And so what I'm trying to say, if you too, and our listeners, doesn't matter where you're at, if you give your life over to Jesus and give Him full control, you submit to Him, and that means give Him everything. When those times come, it's not the death penalty. Doesn't matter what it is. It's you give it to God, and you can sit back and sit there and go, hey, there's a reason why God's doing this.
Yeah. It's the true definition of joy within your suffering.
Yeah.